as promised, video part 2 with my lunatic friend here, Mr. Teeth. I'm also Mr. Teeth now, I get it.
You're matching now, mate.
I will be.
That means you get to get a second hug.
Let's do it. Next week, I shall have these. And between us, we will power the world if the lights go out.
Yeah,
right?
there you go.
Phone off.
Phone off.
Today, you're going to show us some ridiculous clunkers, right?
Yes.
We have coined the name clunker. People use that name. Do you know that? Because we talk about clunkers. Somebody's trying to get in the door.
Yeah, it's okay.
Bye.
Let's see. Okay.
Should we wave?
Yeah.
Hi.
Hi. She'll come back.
Yeah, hopefully.
Good things are worth waiting for.
I know, always, right? Look at this ridiculous, crazy, nutty. I've got to start with this because that's as big as my watch face.
Look at that.
It's as big as my watch face.
Yeah.
How many
Beautiful
carats is
color. Over 80. Over 81 carats.
81 carats. And it's kind of orangey color, right?
Yeah, it's a GIA certified brownish yellow orange.
Wow.
It's just a spectacular piece.
I don't think I've ever seen a diamond this big before. Have we ever seen one this big?
It's up there, isn't it?
81 carats?
That's awesome.
I didn't ask.
I like when Michael, who goes all over the place, comes here and says, I've never seen this before. It's kind of it's a compliment.
Does it suit me?
It's backwards.
It's backwards.
Yeah.
Let's try that again. Does it suit me?
No, it kind of...
Wonderful.
Does it go with the teeth?
Almost.
I think it suited Michael better when it was backwards because he's kind of backwards.
Bye-bye. How much is it?
3.5 million.
Sorry?
Let me catch him. 3.5 million.
That's way less than I thought you were going to say.
Really?
81 carats.
If it was at another jeweler, especially with a big name, they would say how rare it is and how there's so few in the world, which is true, but they would play off that.
So if this was Harry Winston, if we were in Harry Winston's right now, how much would they sell that for? Realistically.
My guess would be 9 to 10 million.
So come and get a bargain.
Yeah.
It's only $3.5 million.
Yeah.
That's actually very inexpensive. I got to show. I mean, look at what you've got here.
This was important for me because we show our watches, but you go to a lot of places and usually they specialize in something. So you go to watch boutique, they specialize in watches, but I can compete with them. I got the watches. You go to places, they have Cubans or, music industry, custom pieces or this, that. We've got everything. You want ruby emerald sapphire? I'll show you trays of ruby emerald sapphire like this.
You
want watches.
You've got, this is just a tiny selection.
Yeah, you want Cubans, you want whatever. We've got a nice selection. So, and I'm important. It's not like I'm dabbling in each category. I'm like taking over the category.
Can I ask you a stupid question? I don't know if you know the answer, but how much money do you have in inventory in the store?
The first time since I met Michael in 30 years, he's right. It's a stupid question.
Can you give us an approximate?
No.
It's up there.
It's up there.
It's in the
it's up
stratosphere.
There. But anyway.
He's very humble. He doesn't want to say. I'll tell you, it's about 1.6 billion.
Everything, of course, is GIA certified. These are fancy yellows, intense yellows.
Look at this. Look
Yeah.
at this.
Look at this. Come on.
This is got to be 35, 40 carats.
45 carats.
45 carats.
Do you know why it's so special? Besides it's an intense yellow and it's big?
It's an Ashoka cut.
Yes.
Very rare, right?
So
Nut size.
usually with pink diamonds, yellow diamonds, blue, green, red, they cut a radiant or a cushion because they want the facets to reflect the color.
Right.
They want it to bring up the color. When the rough comes out of the ground, if the rough is really spectacular, they can cut an Asher because it's naturally strong in color and it doesn't need help to reflect the color. So that's why when you see a colored diamond in an Asher, very, very rare.
Same in an emerald, right? Similar
Yeah,
type of...
yes, yeah.
So, with it being an Asher, does that make it more expensive than say
Yes.
if it was a radiance?
Yes, yeah. If you go throughout the world, which I am, there are other large radiants and cushions out there. If you want to go throughout the world to every site holder and cutter and you look for an Asher of this size, good luck.
It's amazing.
And that's why another store would play off of that and charge 3 times the price.
The inventory you have, speaking seriously, is insane. I mean, it's insane.
I mean,
how much is this? We didn't put a number on it.
4 million.
4 million. So this is actually more than this.
Yes.
Because of its rarity being an Asher and the perfection of the
Yes,
stone.
and it's half the size.
It's hard to say that. It's 45 carat and it's half the size.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
And then look at, like, even if I do a radiant, look at the layout, like the length to width ratio. These are just incredible.
Explain to people what that means, length to width ratio.
So it's very important, the make of the stone, the cut of the stone. You don't want a stone to go to sleep on you. You don't want it to look like a rusty.
Explain what you mean. I know what you mean when
You,
go to sleep.
you want it to be
explain.
full of life.
Fire, right?
Fire.
Yeah.
You're not in the business, but if a stone doesn't scream and yell and dance and talk to you, then it's a bad quality.
Do you know how I look at this? And what I would say is, if I look at a stone and it looks like, can you clean that because it looks a bit foggy or whatever? That's where it doesn't have the fire and the brilliance, right?
Yeah, it's just the life. You look at all of these. They're just, it doesn't matter. We can keep going. They're just full of brilliance and life. And then even here's a pear shape.
So what do we have?
And then let me show you. This is one of my favorites.
Well, I was going to say, what do we have here that would be your personal pick? If you were to pick a stone that you would say best represents you and the best stone, which one would it be?
I couldn't do that. They're all spectacular. I mean, this is real special because it's big and it's an Asher. You don't see too many ovals. This is over 30 carats. This is
30 carats.
Yeah,
wow,
and it's
huge.
an intense.
Look, that's my fingernail.
Yeah.
My thumbnail. Look how big that is.
And it's kind of funky the way it's set sideways.
I like it.
Yeah.
Unique.
Yeah.
How much is this one?
2 million.
2 million. So we're looking at like 30 million on here.
Look at this heart.
Think about that for a second. This little tray here. Wow.
Yeah.
That's not so little.
Yeah, 25 carat.
25 carat. So what's the smallest stone on this tray?
I don't think there's anything less than 8 carats. Maybe it's this one. No, this is a 1054.
Okay, so that's hilarious. So this is a 10 carat, 10 and a half carat stone.
Yep.
And after looking at all these other stones, it looks somewhat insignificant, right?
There's a 14. 14 carats.
Amazing. This is a beautiful color.
But then, like this one, where was it? It's laid out so.
This is beautiful. Absolutely beautiful.
That is gorgeous, isn't it?
Isn't it?
Yeah.
Look at the color. They're all beautiful, but this one's just crazy. This is $1 million.
I mean, that is gorgeous.
How big is this one, Peter?
That one was
14.
14. Yeah. Look at this. That's a pear shape.
So nice.
Isn't that cool?
How big is that one?
10.
So I got another totally stupid question for you. How much is on this tray?
2 stupid questions in one day.
How much is it? Tell us.
I don't know. It's not about that. It's that we have a great selection.
But we want to know, the audience wants to know, approximately.
I don't know.
The average like $1 million a piece?
Well, let's
whatever.
us work it out. If he's going to be humble,
Let's work it out.
What's this?
figure it out.
3.5, 5. There's 8.5. That one I was holding was $1 million. There's $20 million here, give or take.
No, speak English.
What's $1 million between friends, right? All right, let's move on to these. Okay, so what have we got here?
So
We have got
Again.
some clunkers beyond clunkers. These are earrings?
Yes.
These will pull someone's ears off.
20 over 20 carats each.
Think about that. 20, it says 40 carats.
Yeah, they're big.
20 carats each.
Each, yeah.
That is nuts. I mean, that is nuts. And they're beautiful too. These are ashes, right?
Ashers, yeah.
Wow.
And then these are radiants, which is a nice comparison. One is faceted, one is not.
And they're the same carat weight?
Yes.
So these are slightly oblong?
Yeah.
And these are totally square?
Yeah.
So for the layman, when you say faceted, that's why this one looks extra sparkly and like little sparkles, whereas
Yes.
this is,
Yes.
got it.
So emerald and Asher are the best cuts with a clean diamond, right?
Yes.
They're kind of brilliant and they refract brilliantly.
Yeah. Well, for the viewers, it's kind of like looking out a window. You know, it's just, you see right into the stone.
Right,
out the
clean
window.
and sparkly.
So you usually got to go VS or better. Yeah.
Right. Whereas you can get away with some
size
yes.
if it's a faceted stone because
Right.
it hides it. The
Right, you
facets
don't
hide
see
it.
it.
Yeah.
So you know if you see somebody wearing a emerald or an Asher, it's got to be good stone.
Better quality, yeah. And even with the color, because there's no help to enhance the color.
That's
or
right.
bring the color up.
That's right.
So you got to go with a higher color normally.
So how much is this pair of 20 carat earrings? Can you buy one? So it's like one out of the pair. I haven't worn an earring in forever.
No.
Yeah, crazy world we live in.
4 million.
4 million, so 2 million each.
Yeah, for a 20 carat stone, you need 2 million, yeah?
Yeah.
For a nice stone.
And these?
These are probably close to the same thing.
And the same size, right?
Yeah.
So what would you say most women would prefer? Would they prefer the square in the ear or the slightly dangly? One's a stud, huge, and the other kind of dangles.
So it's interesting, as a lot of women come in and they see something, they're like, oh, I love it, they put it on, they don't like it. Then they see something they don't like, they put it on. So how big is the face? What's the jawline? How do they wear their hair up, down? Is it short, is it long? All these things kind of do they want to accentuate the length of their face, so they wear elongated earring.
So what advice would you give to the guy that's coming in, he wants to buy a present for his significant other, right?
So when that guy came in and asked me what he thought Michael would like, because he wanted to buy a gift for Michael, I went through the whole process with him, you know. Does he wear his Hollywood hair?
Turn the camera away 1 second.
I think I probably would go classic at that point, round.
Really?
Yeah, you know.
Because you can't go wrong with round,
You
right?
can't go wrong with round. It's kind of like a staple item. Actually, studs is a staple item in every woman's wardrobe. Like everyone has a pair of studs.
Right.
Studs and hoops.
Right.
So unless it's, you know, you're talking $2, $3, $4 million, then I'd bring her in. But what I would do personally is if he picked one of these, I'd say, look, if she doesn't like them, which we know she's going to like them, you can return them for store credit or I'll give you your money back, or then bring her in and we'll show her the square ones.
If you take these to a woman and she doesn't like them, you got the wrong woman.
You got the wrong
Right,
woman.
right.
Something's wrong.
Talking about things that are wrong. We recently did a video talking about lab-grown diamonds with one of the major diamond people probably in the world. And he is absolutely against lab-grown diamonds. So you're saying a natural diamond is not a one-night stand and a lab-grown is?
I'm saying that an engagement ring is not costume jewelry.
Why does somebody buy the real one for 19,000 when you can buy the identical one for 1,000? Don't mean to upset you. The only difference between the lab-grown and the natural is money.
And she
right?
wants you to spend money. If you want to marry me, you spend money on me, man. We're real stuff, real emotions, real people, real relationships we're dealing with over here.
So-
she wants it to feel pain, man.
But let me ask
She
you-
wants it to show him that I love you, man. I'm going to give you something that's valuable.
I'm the opposite. I'm for them for the right people. What's your opinion? Tell us your opinion on lab-grown diamonds.
So it's very important to know this is just my humble opinion on the whole thing.
That's all we want.
So when they first came out, the cutters and the manufacturers of lab-grown diamonds came to me and said, Pete, let's say you have $1 million diamond, GIA certified, 10 carat round, DEF, VS, $1 million stone. They came to me and said, this stone, GIA certified, although it says lab, same color, same clarity, same size, will cost $750,000. So you're thinking to yourself for a minute, wow, it's 25% less. But then the problem I had was 25% became 30, 35, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. Now they're 90 to 95% less than regular diamonds.
Isn't that crazy?
Can you imagine my job?
But it is a diamond. It's a perfect diamond, right?
Right, so they take a molecule of a diamond and they put it in a machine and they grow it. And in 30 days, they do what the ground does in thousands of years.
Right.
Okay, but can you imagine as a store owner who is looking for the long-term relationship with your clients, you want the referrals, you want the repeats, they're entrusting you for your expertise and with their money to guide them. So now you sold them a stone for, let me exaggerate, $1 million, and now it's worth $75,000. Or you sold them something for $10,000 and now it's $750. How do you look at them in their eyes? So I never did any lab. I don't believe in it. Everything in my store is real and genuine, and I didn't want to mix it. Now, have I sold them? Yes, upon special request. People come to me from all over the world. They say, hey Pete, we know you're the diamond guy. Would you get us lab? And then I think it's about transparency. You have to really educate them and say, look, lab is a title and there's a lot of things underneath that title. Most of the lab, 95% is not what they say it is, meaning the color and the clarity, because they're inferior certifications. If I'm going to do a lab, I'm going to do a GIA lab.
Then it's exactly the same as one of these.
Well, GIA is, again, the strictest. So when they say it's a D color and E color, it is. When they say it's a VVS, it is. With the other ones, you're buying...
Who were the other ones?
Like one of the common ones would be IGI, there's IGA, there's a couple out there.
Okay.
Everyone knows they're off by 1-2 colors, 1 or 2 clarities. So it's the same thing with real diamonds. Why, if you believe that...
With the real diamond, an EGL certificate is not as strict as a GAA.
Yeah,
GAA
same
is
thing.
the king, right?
You're buying a paper,
Right.
is what you're doing.
Right.
So if you're going to do lab, which I did, it's for a lot of the people that are in the fashion or the music industry or the sports world. They want a pair of studs. So these guys want 5 carat each. And the quality they want would be $500,000 to $600,000. Now I could get them into the lab for $10,000, $15,000, $20,000. That's where I'll do it.
So there's nothing wrong with that, right? If that's what they want.
If that's what they want. And I explained to them that it's lab. I also feel that it's so low right now, it went down so much, there's no other place to go.
Right.
In the future, if you paid $5,000 for a stone, will you get your $5,000? You probably will, because it went so low, you can't lose anymore.
Right, they can't go any lower.
Right, and there's still someone out there that would want to buy it at the down price.
Right.
I did a tennis necklace for a guy. They were 4 carat each rounds, 36 inches long. That thing, when I priced it out, it was $10 million or something. And it cost them like $100,000. And every
Same
stone...
look, and it's a diamond.
Yeah. And every stone was GIA certified individually. And the GIA number is lasered on the stone. Everything is the same except it says lab. So the other way it helps me is a guy comes in, he's like, Pete, my budget's $5,000, I said, well, you're gonna get a really nice 1 carat, carat and a quarter stone. Nah, man, it's too small. I need something 3-4 carats. Then I say, think about a lab. And I educate him, and I'm transparent about the whole thing. And I explain to him, and then I wind up selling him a lab. And the small margin I would have made on the real diamond, I make it on the lab diamond. And now he gets his 3-4 carat. Also, what's important is why I like the GIA lab is because if I get my diamond tester and I test the GIA certified lab, it comes up diamond on the diamond tester. Diamond. Whereas most of these other certifications, you test them, they don't come up diamond.
Really?
Yeah. So
Didn't know that.
Yeah,
Didn't know
so
that.
that's why I like, if you're going to do it, we got to do the best.
Right.
And you can see the difference.
I have a question for you. You've been in this industry many, many years.
75 years he's been in the industry. He started when he was 35. So he's on his 110th year right now.
You started before labs were a thing.
Yeah.
If you were a 20-year-old jeweler right now, wanting to make a name for yourself, would you bother with natural anymore, or would you go be the best lab guy that can get the sports stars, the musicians, the
That's a very good question.
fast fashion diamonds, if you like?
I would not, personally. I think you specialize in something, if that's what you want to be known
You're
for.
going to also remember that to inventory a showcase full of natural diamonds when you're starting out in business costs you 100 times more than it would if you did it with labs.
100%. Yeah. But what the key is what you said, the fashion industry or music industry, they'll still buy real diamonds too. Don't forget, there's
But the lab's a real diamond.
Well, they'll buy not a lab-grown diamond.
Right, an earth-grown diamond.
Earth-grown
I'm
diamond.
talking purely from a business standpoint. Forget your ethics, forget the fact that you are a diamond enthusiast. If you wanted to get into business today as a jeweler, would you still pursue natural and eat the fact that, like Michael says, you're going to have to put up a lot of money up front, or would you play the lab-grown game?
Or a bit of both.
Yeah. Me personally, I would not. I can see where a young guy who doesn't have a lot of money, you're right. You can fill this, you can get an inventory and fill it, but then you're building your business and you're known for this one specific thing. It's going to be hard to transition and say, well, now this is real and this is, I don't see that happening. Me personally, I always like to reach for the best and do the best. And
For sure.
So I would stick with real diamonds, even if it means starting out smaller. The other thing that I find important, no matter what the color of the skin is, the religion, no matter what part of the world, people like having an asset. There are so many people that come in and they say, well, this is from my son, my daughter, my children, or I want a pair of studs because one daughter's getting one and one daughter's getting one, and you're passing on money in the bank. You're passing on a hard asset that's an international asset. With the lab grown, you're not really passing on anything. You know what I'm saying? It's like...
But is that not the risk? Like gold is an asset that over time has always been worth what it's worth. Gold's never taken a dip. Now with lab grown coming along, the real natural diamond prices have come down dramatically as well. So now it's not money in the bank.
There's another way of thinking.
So I don't agree with that statement.
So let's say somebody comes in and they buy a diamond for $20,000, right? A natural earth-grown diamond, $20,000. And they come back in 2 years and they want to sell it, whether it's to you or somebody else. You're probably going to give them $10,000 to $15,000. They're going to take a loss, regardless of what that loss is, right? Let's call it you give them $15,000. You go make a living. So they lose $5,000. And then somebody comes in and they buy a lab-grown diamond for $3,000, and they come back in and you say it's worthless. They lost $3,000. The guy that bought the earth-grown one lost $5,000 for the same diamond. So there's a calculation there as well, right?
So
do you see my point?
I see your point. It's a good point. So first,
they're coming for you.
Michael's here. So what you're saying, it makes sense, but it depends on the jeweler. So some will say that lab growns were created by money-hungry or greedy jewelers that wanted to make big margins and big profit. Some stores, they have different margins than us. Everyone marks up things differently. We've always worked very, very close. So I'm not afraid if someone spends $20,000 and they come back and they want to sell it for, this is the first time I haven't done it in these last couple of years, well, this last year, because prices went up so much because of COVID. And then they came down because of the lack of business at this particular time. But we're also having wars, we're having inflation, we're having interest rates, we have an election year. So there's a lot of factors that are determining the prices of all luxury items right now.
Right.
And then the lack of business is determining prices. But me personally, whatever somebody bought something, I'll always give them the store credit or buy it back for that price. And that was that was my blueprint for years.
That's you.
I can't do that now because things went down,
right,
and they're not what they were. You know, when I go to the market, and I sell a lot of diamonds, guys, and when I go to the market, there used to be 10, 15, 20 of them. Now there's 1 or 2. The selection is not as great because they're not producing as much. So therefore, the better goods, there's less better goods in the world than there is commercial goods. And they've come down a little bit, maybe because of the lack of business. But again, you'd have to go on the computer and say, I bought this diamond, you know, whatever, August 1st, 2024. That was during interest rates were high, during inflation, during 2 wars, during an election year. Because when some of that passes, then the price will go up or go down. You're kind of riding out a storm right now, like you're picking a time period, which is the worst. So I'm still for the real diamond. I think. And let's face it, now the phase is lab diamonds. Before that, it was CZ, it was glass, it was moissanite. There was always something out there what you could get that looks like a diamond.
But they were different.
Yes.
This is a diamond.
Yeah.
Right. Well, but it's lab grown, but it's a real diamond. Well, it's a diamond, but lab grown. But there's always been cheaper substitutions out there for the real diamond. So I get these companies that come to me that say, look at our selection of rings. It's all lab grown, but it's in gold. We'll give you all these lab grown, buy our ring and we'll give it to you for free if you buy our setting or mounting or something. So what is that? Now it's gonna be a little different when it's a 3, 4, 5 carat stone, but what is that telling me?
He's determined.
I know.
He's determined.
He wants that to be 4 pairs,
Yeah.
not 2 pairs.
I think it depends on your lifestyle, your budget. You know, young kids starting out, let's be real. Today to buy a house and save money for a young kid, family.
Impossible.
It's so different. So you got to prioritize everything in your life. Even when they come in, they're getting engaged, they want to have a wedding. By the time you do the flowers and the photographer and the food and the hall and the music and this and that, it costs a fortune to get married today, right?
Yeah.
So you got to budget yourself. If the budget allows you for the lab, then do the lab. You know,
Yeah,
I'll
makes
help
sense.
you. I'll make we'll do it. Yeah. And if you have the money for the other one, you go with the other one. You know, these Italians, we talk with our hands. So anyway.
But getting back to this though, I mean, Peter.
Good conversation though.
Great conversation. You have, by far, the greatest selection of clunkers, I think, we have
Both of these are over 20.
ever seen. I'm not going to ask you because you won't tell me.
Yeah. And you know, some of these, like,
How much is this?
3 million.
3
It's an
million.
FVVS one.
Okay, 3 million. So let's say
Oh, stop it.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's call that 15 million.
E Flawless. Just to give you an idea, these are really E Flawless.
How big
It's a
is
great
this guy?
stone. 10, over 10 carat.
So let me guess. E flawless 10 carat, $1 million.
$1.8 million.
$1.8 million.
Yeah.
Million
Wow.
$1.8 million. And the lab grown equivalent, I don't know if they make them 10 carat, but let's say they did, 30 grand, 25 grand.
Yeah. Well, let's do the math. So let's say it's $1 million.
Right.
10% is 100,000. 1% is
10.
10,000.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Give you an idea.
Wow.
So on 2 million, it's the same formula.
Crazy. Well, this has been very educational.
Thank you.
Very fun as always.
Yeah.
Very bright, smiley.
My brother.
My brother.
Thanks,
We
Mike.
have traveled the world together. We've been, how many countries have we been to? A lot.
A dozen or more.
Yeah.
Yeah. With our families.
Twin everything.
Yeah.
So-
Cars. Yeah.
Yeah, amazing, amazing.
It's nice to be able to have someone in your life that you can share that with.
30 years we've been friends,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
30 years.
You know, just think, if Michael met someone today, he'd be 95 to know them as long as he knows me. You know, and then he'll have Alzheimer's and he won't remember him anyway.
Vice versa.
At least I caught him while he remembers me still.
Who are you again? Guys, hope you enjoyed this. Lots and lots and lots of fun. We're in it to win it. Hit the like button. Follow him. Follow me. You already do, hopefully. And if you don't, you should. Shame on you. Ring the bell. Ring
the bang.
Ring the bang. Ding-a-ling. What else? What have I missed?
That's it.
That's it. We're done?
Thank you.
Well,
Thanks,
there we go.
Mike. Thank you.
Love you.
Love you too, brother. Thank you.
Bye.